Judgment Day has finally come for the Terminator. The Sega Genesis game, anyway. The future is not set. The past is 16-bit. Here's an idea. Let's all go back in time, steal homeless dude trousers, wear them all day long, and take a look at a game that I used to play and always thought was crazily hard, if not impossible. I mean, how is it I struggled so much with this game? Almost gave up on it back in the day, and yet I couldn't stop playing RoboCop vs. the Terminator. Aside from the fact that the latter is an altogether better game. You know what, I think I've finally pinpointed my issues with this Terminator game. For one thing, the game lands you in the middle of a war with the machines, a war that looks really cool in the movie, but feels pretty unpleasant once you're actually in it. Your only weapons at that point are goofy little grenades, bombs, and your main enemies are either giant scary machines, or adorable bombs that float down gently by parachute. Aww. The whole first level is like one stressful day at the office. Just getting to work is a nightmare, and once you get there, it's one thing after another. First you've got the tank machine, then you've got endless shirtless Arnold Schwarzenegger shooting at you everywhere you go. When you reach the bunker, you finally get the machine gun and you start running down tight corridors shooting at Arnie's. You're also placing bombs at the doors in order to open them. The robots are easy to kill, but there are a lot of them, they just keep respawning forever. The trick is to keep moving, keep running forward as you're shooting. This becomes particularly useful in the next part. Your character, Kyle Reese, rigs a bomb to explode in like 40 seconds, which is a great idea in terms of screwing up Skynet, but not so much when you're trying to get to the next level. Suddenly everything goes red and you've got a time limit, so make sure you remember the exit or it's hasta la vista, baby. Apparently the bomb just turns your Genesis into a virtual boy temporarily. The horror. Why would it do that? What a cruel future. / past. Wait, where are we? The level ends with Reese going back in time. Yada yada yada, here's him naked. Expect a lot of yada yada yadas in this review since the game follows key scenes from the first movie, but also skips rather big chunks of it. So yada yada yada, next thing you know Kyle Reese is fully dressed, running around town, shooting at everything that moves with a shotgun. Mostly because everything that moves is shooting at him for some reason. I like how this game completely disregards innocence as Reese just shoots thugs and police officers alike. You can only stun the police officers though. As for the thugs, their Molotov cocktails are really hard to avoid, so if you can get to the rooftops and run up there, do it. Wow, so much for these guys' future. I mean, sure, their future wasn't set, but it was there at least. Oh well, at least they're showing some pretty awesome movies in 1984. Hey, wait a minute. This opens up like 10 new plot holes. Much like Terminator Genesis, funnily enough. Did the James Cameron from the future somehow find a way to go back in time to make the movie just as the events depicted in the movie occur in that reality, thereby creating some kind of cinematic paradox? This can't be good. The James Cameron of the present doesn't make great movies. Maybe the Terminator movie advertised in the game is in fact a bad version of the Terminator. Again, much like Terminator Genesis. Or it could be that Terminator film with Sylvester Stallone we saw in Last Action Hero. The worst part of this level and all the levels after that is this coat that Kyle Reese is wearing. It takes like 2 seconds to get the gun out. 2 precious seconds you actually really need, and it's annoying trying to shoot so many enemies with this stupid coat. Take it off! Take it off! Anyway, yada yada yada, you soon make your way to the most 80s place there ever was. The nightclub Tech Noir, where you'll meet an Arnie boss you'll need to run past after knocking him out for a few seconds. You need to do that 3 times though, you can't just jump over him as soon as he's down, that's not gonna work. It's not terribly difficult, but it's easier said than done. The next level depicts the scene at the police station where the famous "I'll be back" line is uttered.
I'll be back.
And where the T-800 annihilates just about every cop in that station. There are a few floors to run through, so don't be too surprised if it takes you ages to clear this one. Finally, it's the Cyberdyne factory that appears at the end of the movie when Arnie is reduced to a limping tin can and then half a crawling tin can. It's a cool looking stage with lots of Terminators to shoot at, even though in the film it was just the one. Look at those Terminators just fly off the screen, that's hilarious. These guys, however, these crawling Terminators, are just a pain. They're just a nightmare. You can't jump over them. I mean, you can, but it's really tough to do. So most of the time you're just running around trying to avoid them, but inevitably you're gonna bump into one of them at some point. So good luck jumping over them and avoiding them altogether, because as far as I know you can't kill them. I like how the level ends when you recreate the scene where the Terminator, or what's left of him at least, gets crushed by that big compactor. Okay, so that whole thing was way scarier in the movie, but hey, they did a good job with it nonetheless. The graphics and animation look good, it follows the movie pretty well, the controls are perfectly responsive except for the stupid coat, the sound effects rock, the music is great, even if it's not quite the classic Terminator theme, it's a variation on it. It's just a very short game. Perhaps having some mini levels in between the main stages would have helped make it feel fuller. Maybe a couple of driving levels, recreating the truck chase scene, something like that. Just don't expect to waltz through it the first time playing it. You basically can't die. At all. If you're going to pick between two Terminator Genesises or Genesises, then definitely go for this one, not the movie. It's somehow less silly. Anyway, yada yada yada, here's some mountains.
I'll be back.
You and me both, buddy.